evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Winnicki. I am running for the 6th Council District in the City of Yonkers. I am a lifelong resident of the City of Yonkers. I was educated in the City of Yonkers. My 3 children were educated in the City of Yonkers and Yonkers Public Schools. I am a businessman. In fact, I'm celebrating with my wife our 20th anniversary of owning and operating a company called Basic Technologies. I am the active president of the Yonkers Federation of Youth. And we talked about that earlier about keeping kids after school programs. Well, we do have a lot of after school programs for an awful number of a lot of children, but we need to do more. I am also the former president of the Freehold Boys and Girls Club. Why am I running for the City of Yonkers Council race? Well, it's an open seat this year due to term limits. The playing field will be level. And I am supporting, and I always will support term limits. In fact, I support them for every level of government that exists in this country. But nonetheless, people have asked me why we cannot have a better city than we have. Although it's great, we seem to get lost in the woods in a lot of situations. I think what I would bring to the City Council is an ability to reduce the rancor, some of which you just saw with the previous 2 candidates, and have a congenial atmosphere, work with the mayor where we can, work with the mayor, work with the City Council as the council needs to express itself, and we need to reduce the political climate that the city is famous for, or more or less infamously famous for. So that's what I'm about. I want to help the City of Yonkers become the best city it possibly can, and we'll continue this debate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Media for putting on the debate and for our panelists for being here tonight, and also for all of you too. Why am I running? That's a good question. I've been very active in my own neighborhood of Imperial Park Rails for the last 16 years. I have been an advocate for my community and for the City of Yonkers during those years. I'm a lifelong Yonkers resident. I'm married to my wife Liz for 34 years. I have 4 children, all who attended and graduated from the Yonkers Public Schools. I worked for 25 years for Verizon, where I was responsible, one of 4 people responsible for the network support for our large data center environments in the company. You know, you look at this and you say to yourself, what do you want to do with this? I know from my past experience of being active with my neighborhood that I can be an effective advocate for the community on issues of quality of life, development, and public safety. I've done it in the past. I'm a member of the 1st and 4th Police Precinct Community Councils. I'm a member of the Untermeyer Performing Arts Council. I'm also a trustee of my church, as well as president of my parish council, St. Anthony's in Imperial Park. So I've been out there. I've been actually a voice for all of the City of Yonkers with regard to development, making sure that we get our fair share of our tax dollars in recurring revenues. So I would like to do that as an advocate for the entire 6th District on the City Council. Thank you.
John Larkin is running on the Republican and Conservative Party line. Ted Winnicki running on the Democratic and Independent Party.
Okay, and just in an effort to be fully disclosed here, the question was raised. The last time Mr. Winnicki ran for City Council, I was the treasurer on his campaign. I don't think it's going to taint any of the events here tonight. This is a lot of money. Okay, I get to go next. Okay. In the wake of a series of catastrophic failures at various steeply sloped construction sites in the city, particularly in our district, council members Lesnick and Gronowski have proposed a steep slope zoning ordinance that would govern the amount of building allowed on slopes over certain gradients. What thoughts do you have on how such an ordinance could be effective in Yonkers in general and your district in particular? Additionally, do you think there is a way to use the steep slopes ordinance as a tool through which to preserve open space or to prevent problems such as flooding along the Sawmill or Bronx River Parkway?
Steep slope ordinance, yes. I'm definitely in favor of having one in the city of Yonkers. There are a number of communities in Westchester that have already a steep slope ordinance. You know, I know very well because I've worked very closely with the River Community Coalition of Yonkers with regard to some of their problems that they've had on Woburn Avenue. If anybody does remember, they've had large-scale landslides, mudslides, and actually even had a house that is actually slipping off into the abyss because of the way the construction is done. They've had a problem with Westchester County with sewage line breaking as well. This is all caused because that area there is a large, steep slope area. There needs to be some protection for people. You need to be able to preserve, protect, and regulate steep slope so that we can actually preserve some of our scenic views, also be able to ensure that we have safe building sites, and also so that in the interim we know that if there's a site that has a steep slope, because there's also one that is located off Austin Avenue, which is being proposed for the Avalon Bay development. That's extremely steep slope area as well. So if there needs to be regulation, we need to have it so that if there is a greater 15%, that you are only allowed to develop a certain percentage of the land.
We certainly should be able to take care of the steep slopes in the buildings, but nonetheless, engineers tend to, there should be engineering reports for everything, but as practicality exists, a lot of things that are written in paper do not necessarily become reality. And over there on the west side, we do have those situations where there's a home is in jeopardy, and all the other, the sewer line, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm certainly in favor of limiting the amount of development and probably reducing the size of the development. Obviously, a developer is always going to ask for and maximize their profitability, but it'd be up to the engineers to provide their input to the council, and we certainly would want to prohibit any kind of catastrophic failures that occur, and also to hold harmless anybody that's involved in those situations. Thank you.
We're going to do a little rapid fire with both of you. If you can limit your responses to yes and no within 10 seconds, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Go ahead.
The SFC project, would you have voted yes or no if you were on the council?
As it is now, no.
Do you support the living wage, a living wage?
That is the Democratic Party's platform, yes.
Do you support term limits?
Absolutely.
If you had a choice to daylight the Sawmill River at Larkin Plaza or Chicken Island, currently proposed, where would you go?
I don't have a direct opinion on that right now.
The $2 million cut in police overtime, support it or don't support it?
I don't support it. However, I believe that there is $2 million in the budget of $900 million that could be found and will be found for supporting the overtime for police.
Thank you. John? Term limits. Do you support term limits?
Yes, I do.
Do you support a living wage?
Yes, I do.
Do you, would you have voted for the SFC project?
Yes, I would.